Today we're doing a deep dive into the Circuit of the Americas, or COTA, the only purpose-built Formula One track in America. My name is Michael, and this channel is all about covering my journey to drive and experience every racetrack in America. At COTA, my car for the day was the white number 8 Porsche GT3 991. This car had some challenging aero above 140 miles per hour, which I will cover later on in this video. Let's get into it, and welcome to Apex Across America. We are a new channel, so please like and subscribe to help the channel grow. Hit the notification bell icon so you'll get notified when new videos are released. Now let's look at the Apex Across America map and head on down to Austin, Texas. I was able to get some great aerial shots as my plane came in for landing. The track is only about 20 minutes from downtown and the airport and can accommodate about 150,000 people per day. Every year at COTA, the Formula One race is pure Texas. The circuit really showcases the local culture. Everything is Texas themed, and the international crowd really embraces that. Fried alligator, anyone? I have to admit that I've been spoiled seeing the F1 race from many suites across the track. The track features 20 turns, it's 3.5 miles, or around 5 kilometers. This is one of the highest attended F1 races, second only to Silverstone in the UK and the race in Melbourne, Australia. My favorite viewing spot is at the apex of Turn 1, at the top of a long hill, a sharp turn, and it can get quite messy during the race. Let's look at one of these race starts. Now let's transition to what a track day is like here at COTA. I can tell you the track is even better from the driver's seat. The circuit has long straights with high speeds. Here is the main straight in front of the grandstands. At the end of this straight is a really high hill. It is actually the largest elevation change of any Formula One track in the world. It's about 133 feet high. Coming out of pit lane, this is actually the hill you start on, and you have to join the traffic going into turn 1. So you have to be really careful and make sure you stay within the blend line. After coming around turn 1, the track takes you down a long hill into a series of S's. Now in a Formula One car, they're going a little over 6G as they go around these turns. In a normal sports car, we're going to be hitting about 1G. You'll see later on in my video, as I do a full lap, my car hit about 1.2G. Now this is a GT3 racing spec car, and it's pretty high performance. So quite amazing how fast the Formula One cars can do it. Let's take a look at a Formula One car doing these turns. Those Formula One cars are always amazing. Even though it wasn't nearly as fast, it felt pretty fast inside the GT3 as I went around these turns. Chin Track Days was the host for the day. They are the largest track day organization in the country, and they run a pretty tight ship. We started the day with the morning driver briefing. This is one of the few tracks where supercars, hypercars, and race cars are here for the day. I love seeing the Porsche Cup cars, Lamborghini race cars, and McLaren Senna out on track instead of sitting in a garage somewhere. Sports cars are meant for driving, not sitting in the garage. The Senna is one of about 130 brought into the US and has a rare black satin finish with exposed carbon. This also means it can be intimidating being out on track with such amazing cars. Before we take a look at a full lap, I want to cover a few tricky parts of the lap and some issues with my car. First tricky part is actually just leaving the pit lane. I talked about this a little earlier, how you enter the pit lane at the entrance of that large hill and there's cars coming down the straightaway at high speeds. So you really have to stay to the left before you go into the apex. One of the tricky parts I found was the entrance to turn 3, 4, and 5. Those S's I talked about earlier that we saw that Formula One car go through really fast. If you turned in early, then you weren't set up right for turn 3, 4, or 5, and you lost a lot of time. I'm going to slow down the video now as I enter this section. And on the left-hand side, you'll see me turning in too early. This is not right. And even though it's minor, on the right, I wait just a little longer and actually turn in a little later. And this set me up perfectly for the chicanes of turn 3, 4, and 5. The second challenge I had on my GT3 was that the aero in the back, so the back wing, was a little too aggressive. So this means as I went down the long straight on the back of the track, at about 140 miles an hour, the front started to get light or lift a little bit. So this is a little unnerving as you're barreling down towards a 90-degree turn, down a slight downhill at the end of the straightaway. So you'll see me in the full lap lift up the throttle at about 140 miles an hour. Now I probably lost a few seconds by doing this since I wasn't accelerating all the way down the back straight. Let's take a look at me going down that back straightaway when I started to discover this aero issue. On this lap, I got up to about 146 miles an hour, and it made me a little nervous when I started to lose traction on the front end. This just meant that I had to back off every time I went down the straight. Really couldn't take advantage of the full power of the car. Before we take a look at a full lap, let's review the Apex Across America score for COTA. Track layout and driving experience, 10. The driving experience is great, and being in a stadium environment is really exciting. For safety, I'll give it a 9. There's a ton of runoff in most corners. It gets dinged 1 point because there are a few places where you can go into walls. Campus and facilities, 9. Campus is great. It's a Formula One track. Scenery and location, 8. Not the best scenery in the area, but the track gets a high score because it has an easy ride from the airport and is near Austin, which is a fun city, but has its fair share of issues. This gives it a total score of 36, which is really high. A link to the spreadsheet is in the description below. Now let's take a look at a full lap as a driver. I know I left a lot of time on the table. This lap was taken after a few warm-up laps. Keep in mind that this is my first time at COTA, so for you COTA pros out there, please take it easy on me in the comments. Now we're going to get started on this lap. As I came onto the main straightaway, made a minor error, slipped a little bit, and got passed by that green Porsche. Now we start the lap as we head under the starting gantry. We head up that 133 feet of elevation and around that sharp turn 1. The top right hand corner of the video, you'll see the track map so you can see where I am. Also, you'll notice only a few of my gauges are working. I didn't realize this until later in the day. We enter into those S's. Again, we're going about half the speed of a Formula One car at this point, but it felt pretty fast to me. This uphill section, you want to ride the curb all the way to the right. This sets you up for the next turn, going down the hill, which takes you to the long straightaway after a sharp turn. After this sharp turn, we turn into the long straightaway on the back of the track. And this is the highest speed section of the track. Again, you'll see me here lift at about 140 miles an hour, so that the front of my car doesn't get too light. At the end of the straightaway, there's a hard braking zone and a 90-degree turn to the left. This is turn 12, which leads into turn 13 and 14. These are actually taken as a single turn. This brings you into another area within the stadium that leads you into turn 17 and 18. And these next two turns are also taken as one turn. This brings you to the final two turns on the track. Turn 19. You'll be braking into full throttle down to turn 20, the last turn on the track, then onto the main straightaway. You have to be careful of this last turn. You can slide off, as I did when I was first starting this lap. That wraps up a lap at COTA. Thank you for staying until the end. And remember, we're a new channel, so please like and subscribe, help the channel grow.